Hi everyone, welcome to the show. It's been a super interesting season, off-season in BSL. Hot stove is really hot. So a couple things we can talk about, but this episode here we're going to talk about the free agency winners and losers. In this league, a lot of teams have money to spend, so we tend to have ridiculous contracts given out in free agency, and like the Justin Morneau contract given out only couple years ago, only 2 seasons ago. He was the highest paid player in the league until this offseason. It wasn't a huge class, of free agents where I thought a lot of money would be given out, but except for the two imports, Archuleta and the other guy, and Gonzalez. But it was really interesting free agency. So let's talk about some of the winners, some of the losers, or at least, well, I already have enough people in this league pissed off at me, but we'll talk about some losers. We'll start with, I think, the biggest contract, obviously. We'll start with Philadelphia. Philadelphia brought in Wilson Archuleta for $35 million and change dollars, making him the highest paid player in the league for 6 years. And it was a good move. No contract given out, really. Any of the huge contracts have really hurt the teams that have done it. Morneau, I guess it could be argued if Texas made the right move signing him, since Morneau has not played up to the contract. But Archuleta is only 28 years old. Really good left fielder or right fielder. 90 contact, 66 for gap, 94 power, 80 I, 92 of IK. He's a huge player. And if it takes $35 million a year to get him, good for Philadelphia for picking him up. Philly is crapping money. They made $69 million last year. They're still $40 million under with the revenue from last year. And they picked up a huge player for free. Philadelphia actually made it sign a bunch of guys, but Archuleta's the huge contract they signed. They also brought in some of those minor league free agents for a lot of money, which I don't really want to get into because you never know with those. Like Philadelphia signed Reggie Golden, a 9'7", 10, 8'7" spec. He's 24 years old for $6.4 million for 1 year, so he's going to get automatic re-signed. So he'll get him after that for no money, but Golden, yes, just throwing money away, but there's a chance he could turn out. But he's 24 years old, going to be turning 25, and his ratings are, he only has 18 contact, 22 power, not good. So, all these kind of contracts, I don't really want to get into those kind of deals, but, like another one, Noah Syndergaard, Philadelphia signed, 10.68 pitcher, gave him $8.6 million, but I don't really want to talk about those. That's really the only big signing, the player that will help right now, that Philadelphia signed. Another team that I think did well in free agency, again, they signed the other big-time free agent. The other big-time free agent is Minnesota. Aaron, again, wins the offseason. He's like the Washington Redskins, I guess. The winners always win the offseason. He signed Rupert Gonzalez, 33-year-old center fielder. My team, Baltimore, was the favorite for Gonzalez for pretty much all of free agency, but Bastard wouldn't sign with me. So I pulled my offer because I was giving him like $25 million a year, but he signs with Minnesota. Minnesota gets him pretty cheap, only $60 million a year for 4 years. Most you give a guy with 33 or over. And Gonzalez is a prototypical leadoff hitter. High contact, high gap, high YK, steals a ton of, like 100 bases if you're given the opportunity. And get him for only $60 million a year. That's a great job by Aaron. A really great job. Some of the other moves that they made, they being, Minnesota now, signed Andres Avila for $8 million for 1 year. Again, this is one of those prospect deals that I'd rather not talk about. But $8 million for 1 year. If he develops, awesome. If he doesn't, eh. They also signed a bunch of those players for some money. They signed. I like the Joey Abeta contract that he gave him. Abeta's a very solid player. Another one of the imports just came in the league, and he got him really cheap, only $3 million a year. And Abeta is like consistently solid, does everything well. Contact, power, eye, YK. There's no deficiencies in his game. He isn't gonna be awesome, and he plays a terrible defense, but he's a solid player, and it's a good signing by Minnesota to bring him in. Another team that made some interesting moves, whether you want to call it good or bad, is debatable. Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, their big signing, I mean, besides for the trade they made, but their big major free agent signing is they brought Robinson Cano for $13 million over 4 years. Cano's a very good player, 33 years old, and you probably get him pretty cheap for only $13 million a year. A little bit raised whatever he was getting, but last year he had 306 with 343 on base, which contact's good. OBP is not that good. 21 homer, 110 RBI. So he's a very solid player. Hard to get that production from a second baseman. So that's a pretty good contract, I guess. They signed Corey Hart, who is another solid player, for $5 million a year for 2 seasons. Hart's another guy who, solid player. I mean, Pittsburgh went the route of not getting the uber big guys, but wish they got the uber big guy in trade. But signing free agents, going the free agency route, and signing mid-level, like middle guys. And they didn't overpay for them, so that's pretty good. I mean, there are teams out there that really, really did overpay for guys. For example, who do I want to get pissed at me? Houston gave, like, Kelly Jensen a lot of money. I don't really think that was a good move, but $5 million for a reliever, and not that good of one at that. But, well, people hate me enough already, so I don't really want to talk about teams that didn't do well. Teams that did do well, I like some of the moves that the Mets made in free agency. I mean, the Mets have money to deal because they're the Mets. They signed the one like prospect that I would have liked to have signed, Edward Salcedo, 24-year-old shortstop, straight ace across the board and plays everywhere except catcher. He's decently developed. He's in the 50s, 60s, so I like that contract. But unlike the other deals, which are all one-year deals, and then they revert to like other contracts, he got an $8 million deal for $8 million a year for 3 years, which means that he will, well, if he makes it or if he doesn't, but he'll be on the team for 3 years, or at least he's making that money for 3 years. But again, the Mets have the money to spend. They're one of those teams that has money, so they're more than free to go on inside those contracts. Just a lot of these contracts. I mean, you can't really get away with talking about the minor without not talking about the minor leaguers. Anthony Fernandez, minor league pitcher, out of San Diego, for $9 million a year for 4 years, I believe. She's not supposed to be in free agency, but whatever. That's one deal that was made. And so really, those are 2 big deals in free agency. The rest of them were solid deals. I mean, again, guys like Avila, prospects, or they got way more money they weren't supposed to get. Chad Qualls got him $6 million a year from St. Louis. That was another thing, that the relievers like Jensen, like Qualls, getting a lot of money because of the dearth. I mean dearth, because dearth means not a lot or a lot. There were not a lot of pitchers, relievers out there. Dodgers gave De Los Santos $3.5 million. De Los Santos pitched 2 games in his career, and he got shelled in those 2 games. But there's no relievers out there. People going out trying to improve their bullpen, and so if it means trading for guys, then so be it. They will go out and trade for guys, or they will sign them as free agency. But pretty much it for free agency. Some interesting things. Some really not that interesting, probably. If anyone watched this, now one of my better episodes. Watch the other ones. I'm normally better than this. Anyways, peace.